Hi, I'm Gary and welcome to my shop. In this quick tip video, I'm going to show you how I use labels in my shop. Now, I use labels in the shop a lot to mark a lot of things, such as drawer contents, short instructions on some things, and for some other purposes. Now, there are cheap and simple labels and the more pricey ones, and I'll show you how to get more mileage from others. Some of the options are Scotch tape and a Sharpie. Also, masking tape and a Sharpie or a permanent marker. And for some permanent yet removable solutions, there are the P-Touch labelers and the Scotch dry erase tapes. Now, there may be some others, but I'm not aware of those yet. I'll show you how I use these and get more out of them. The first cheap and easy labeling systems I'm going to show you, this is using some of these tapes. And I've got a light surface here and a darker surface here, so I can kind of show you some of the comparisons on how this works. Now, the first one is the Scotch tape, which is called the invisible tape. And I always like to take and fold over an edge here a little bit. That kind of gives me a tab that I can grab onto when I want to remove this again. And I can stick this on, and with the marker I can make a mark, and it stays on pretty good. I can lift my tab here and pull it off. Now, I've got another tape here. This is a kind of a clear plastic tape. It's the same thing as like those shipping tapes for sealing up boxes. It's a clear plastic. It's very tough and durable, but it's a clear, slick plastic surface. Make my tab on here. I can stick that on there, and I can make a mark on that. That shows up pretty good on these white surfaces here. With this clear plastic tape, it's stronger and sticks a lot better than the Scotch magic tape does. Also, to demonstrate, if I put this on a dark surface here, it's not as easy to see that black mark with both of these. So you have to be kind of aware of what kind of surface that you're putting this on and whether or not it's going to be visible for you as a label. An alternative is to use this blue masking tape, and with these I do the same thing where I tuck over an end to give myself something of a tab to grab onto to remove it. Then you can mark it with the black marker, and it doesn't always show up as well as it should. So another alternative to that, so you can see better, this works for a lot of cases, but sometimes you may want something better than that. I've got some of this green masking tape. It's called a frog tape. I've got one end tabbed over already on this one, and put this here, and you can see when I make a mark on that, it shows up a lot better than it does on the blue. So this is it for the 4 different kinds of cheap and easy, quick labeling methods that you can use for marking your items, your drawers, whatever. Here I'm stepping up to a Brother P-Touch labeler, which is a permanent labeling system, although the labels are removable if needed. These tapes come in widths of 3/8, half, 3/4, and 1 inch. Now, as you saw before, this labeler wastes 1 inch of the label tape as a leader tape before printing. Now, I save these cutoffs for labeling and other applications, as I will show you shortly. Okay, here I'm going to give you a quick demonstration on how I use the Brother labeling software that comes with these label printers from Brother. Here I've got the application open, and what I'll do is go to Open to open a file. I've got a bunch of file or label formats here I've already set up for other purposes previously. I've got a 3/8 label loaded into my labeler, so I'm going to select this one, double click on that to open up that format. Now, the advantage with YouTube here is you can slow this down for play. You can rewind it and watch it over and over again until you get the hang of it. But for this demonstration purposes, for this quick video, I'm just going to make this a really short one. If people want to know more, maybe I'll do a more in-depth video on how to use this Brother labeling software. Albeit, I'm not a professional on this. I barely scratched the surface just to accomplish my needs in the shop here. Anyways, got this label open, so what I'll do is click in the label box here, press Control A, and now I can put in whatever I want to type for a label. Now let's say I want to do like an 8-penny nail, so I'll put an 8D for penny, and then nails, and that creates my label there. Now what I can do is resize this label to a size that works without wasting a whole lot of label tape. So length of the label there, length of the text box. Now if I want to, I can press Control A to select all of it. Here I can select different fonts if I want to use them. And I can also use different sizes. Let's say I'll change this to a 16, so that shrinks it down a little bit. Then I'll click within the box there to remove that highlighting. Now, to print this, all I have to do is press Control P. That opens up this print dialog box. And I click on the print button here, and that'll print out the label for me. And I'll show you a still picture coming up here on what this label looks like. What I'm going to demonstrate here is how I apply these labels onto things, such as the front of this parts drawer that I'm going to use. Got some 8-penny nails in there. On the back side of this label, it's split down kind of the middle of the length of the label itself. And what you can do is you part this in the middle like this. You can get an edge and catch on that. Okay, so you can see how I'm peeling that off. A little bit hard with a white background to see things, but then peel off the other half of this label backing. Okay, got it. And some of these labels, if they get to be lengthy, they tend to curl up on you, and then they'll curl around and stick upon each other. So if that happens, you want to make sure you keep these pretty well straight while you're doing this. Now also, sometimes if you're working with some really small labels, like the ones I did for that SD card, I'll use a pair of tweezers to hold on to one end of the label while I apply it onto the surface that I want to put it on. Get it there, put it down with my thumb, pull that off, push it on, and it's pretty much on there. That's how those labels would apply. Okay, here now I'm going to show you how I make use of these cut-off pieces that I showed you before. You just get about a 1-inch feed that cuts off and is wasted. If I save these labels, I can use them for various things. Now these all work the same. This one's a dry erase tape, and it's very much similar as all these tapes too. You can use dry erase on any of these, or you can use a permanent marker on them. I'll demonstrate on the larger ones here. For example, this one here is a dry erase marker. Hold that. So I can make a mark there. This one's a dry erase also. This one is a permanent marker. Now you can see that with these, I can just wipe with some toilet paper to erase the tape and write a new mark on there. With the permanent marker, that's pretty much stuck on there permanently. It won't come off. Those are pretty much all the options for making labels in your shop. A lot of them are very good and useful. Some are permanent, some are temporary. Some you can use the tapes and make it for very cheap. Now with these dry erase labels, I can often mark on here, for example, this brad. The last nails I had in here was a 1-inch. Now if I change them out, I can just wipe it off here and put in, say, maybe now I've got 1 1/4 inch in my nail gun. So I can keep track of that, what's in there, rather than have to pull them out and measure them up to see what size nails do I have in there. So that's a good reference for me using these erasable labels. So to recap now, I showed you how to make cheap labels from everyday tape. Making Brother labels using the Brother software for making the labels, using the label cutoffs and the Scotch dry erase labels. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked it and you got some inspiration to label things in your shop. Just don't label the wife. Also, please share it with your family, friends, and fellow craftspersons. And please subscribe and be sure to hit that bell icon so you won't miss anything. I also greatly appreciate all your comments. I get a lot of great ideas from you. So, ladies don't find you handsome, at least they should find you handy. Thank you.